Good evening, everyone. We're back on Monday night in a sim race South Africa, and it's the flagship event. ACC is back, and it's round 3 here at the Hungaroring this evening. I'm Daniel Haynes, and I'm joined by Nick. Thanks so much for joining us, Nick. How are we doing?
Good evening, Daniel, and good evening, everybody watching live tonight. We should be in for a fantastic race. Hungaroring, a bit of an anomaly in that I don't think many people are used to racing here. So certainly I don't recall SimRace SA having been at the Hungaroring for the GT3s in Assetto Corsa Competizione. But we are here tonight, really looking forward to it. Very cold track, 22 degrees at the moment with 16 degrees ambient. So yeah, these guys putting in some pretty quick lap times. You can see Arno Visagie there currently. Our pole sitter right now on the 1 minute 42.183, very closely followed by Jason Absmeyer, just a tenth behind. And then Rowe spoiling the Ferrari party, managing to slot himself into third at the moment by actually just and as I see, Daniel Rowe improves massively. Doesn't jump a place, but grabs another 0.3 of a second, and is also now just over a tenth behind Arno Visagie. So we have 2 Ferraris, a Bentley, 2 more Ferraris, 2 Bentleys, a Ferrari, and then finally we have something different from Ferraris and Bentleys in Stradom in a Lexus, and Sterner in a Aston Martin. So yeah, clearly a little bit of a Ferrari show tonight.
Yeah, Ferrari dominance again. We saw it last round as well. But yeah, unusual to see the Bentleys up there as well. But they're in packs, these cars, aren't they? So we've got like 3 Aston Martins together, and then the Lexuses start forming towards Wesley Ferrant in the first Lexus in 15th place. So it does, seems like the cars seem to bunch together a little bit, but great showing by Visagie. Let's just have a look at the HLQ times. I haven't got our usual very nice timetable, but I have got a basic one for us so we can see how they can compare from HLQ over the weekend. Our track temperatures are a lot cooler though for this evening's race, so that explains why we're currently beating our HLQ. But Devin Lisher obviously put a bit of practice in at Hungaroring, and he topped our HLQ times, followed by Jason Absmeyer and then Daniel Rowe. So we've got the top 4 that were... No, the top 3 are our top 3, but just in a slightly different order. Now we've got Leslie Oliphant that's poached up a bit, hasn't he? Because he was 6 in HLQ, and he is he's now in 4th place, improved a little bit. That's how they stacked up from HLQ, and we've got a very quick look at our championship standings after 2 rounds gone. As we enter the 3rd round, Jason Absmeyer is our current leader. Remarkably close though to Leslie Oliphant, only 1 point behind. Quade Claessen's in 3rd place. Have I seen Quade Claessen's on the server this evening? I'm not sure he's in this round. I think he's having.
I don't think he is.
I think he's having a drop round. So they're our top 3. So we're looking particularly at Jason Absmeyer and Leslie Oliphant as far as individual championship standings go. And Hungaroring, you mentioned it, Nick. I must admit, I'm not that familiar with it, apart from obviously watching a lot of F1 around here. That's basically as far as my knowledge goes. I've never actually done a personal race on a sim here at Hungaroring. So I'll bring the track overlay. I did do a few laps at the weekend. So I brought the track overlay up on our screen so we can just have a little chat about it. One thing that struck me is not much time to breathe on this circuit. It just seems, no long straight to just sort of settle down and calm down and collect your composure. You're always into another corner. Turn 1, massive braking zone. Turn 1. I found turn 1 very difficult, and I'll be interesting to see how the guys cope in lap 1. I think that's going to be big overtaking opportunity. Turn 1.
I think that's kind of where you're going to be able to do or make an overtaking move. Potentially, if you go through turn 1, follow very closely, then through turn 2. Get a good run through turn 3 and then into 4, is you could potentially slot something up the inside there, but that's going to be a very, very difficult move. The other spot is also potentially turn 12.
Yeah, I was just about to say. 12 and 1 were the 2 corners that when I was driving I was like, well, this is where a pass would be made. One thing that did cross my mind is There's quite a lot of runoff here. Like the King Con turn 4, you can go majorly wide and you don't damage yourself or anything, but I'm pretty sure you'll start getting track limit violations.
Yep,
so
absolutely.
I'll be interested to see whether we start seeing a few more stop-go penalties here this evening after 75 minutes of guys just taking liberties with track limits, because you don't get penalised that much. Also the chicane in 6 and 7, quite easy to overcut those, I found, although the curb's pretty mighty, but the Bentleys might be able to coast over those nicely. I might explain why the Bentleys are up there this evening, but yeah, I'll be wary on track limits here. I think that might play a part.
Yeah, definitely the Bentleys. Their advantage here is coming from abusing those curbs, and the Ferrari advantage coming from being able to maintain the high speed through the twisty stuff. But of course, we've seen the 14 corners here at Hungaroring. It is 4.381 kilometers long, 2.722 miles for those in the incorrect working in incorrect formats, and the race, the actual lap record around here is a 1 minute 16.627. Of course, that was set by Lewis Hamilton in his Formula One car. So these guys somewhat off that pace, but yeah, that's what we're looking forward to tonight. And a very quick shout out to our man in 36th position right now, Brett Lindsay Ray, in the Jaguar.
Oh yes, I didn't even know. Oh, that's that's made my night. That has. Get ready to watch a lot of Brent Lindsay Ray. I didn't even know. That is brilliant. What a lovely car.
Yeah, I think I've just made Daniel's long weekend.
Oh, it's waking me up, Nick. Thanks for
that. So of course, anybody who doesn't know, Daniel of course owns an XKR.
I haven't got that massive wing on the back though.
You don't,
no.
But all that incredible livery. So
no, mine's just silver. But yeah, we might be watching a little bit of Brent Lindsay Ray. We're checking in to see how the Jag is. Well done on getting into Division 1, Brent Lindsay Ray. What a hero.
Yeah, that is a proper effort to get into Div 1 with that car.
Because I mean, it's like a 2012 car against all the 2020s. So yeah, well done. It's quite a feat.
So in the YouTube chat, a shout out to Moritz Krokamp, Eleanor Mental Panda, Johan VDV, Nikki Pearson, Barry Mayer, and Jared Whitfield. Welcome, guys. Thanks for joining us. And anybody who's got any questions for Daniel and myself, we will do our level best to answer them. Just pop them in the chat, and we can have a chin wag about whatever it is that's on your mind, and hopefully answer a few questions along the way.
Yeah, and any pearls of wisdom for a Hungaroring? We're all learning here. Yeah, if your knowledge extends a little bit beyond F1 like mine, then more than welcome to enlighten us.
Yeah, absolutely. So having a look back up at the front, things still pretty much as they were when you joined. We've got again 2 Ferraris, the Bentley, 2 Ferraris, 2 Bentleys, Ferrari, and now 2 Lexus in the, or Lexi, I don't know which one it is, in 9th and 10th. Stradom and Ferrant has now worked his way into 10th position, pushing Van Wyk and Sterner down into 11th and 12th respectively. Shout out to Ross Bartle, who is our front-running McLaren at the moment, sitting in 15th. I would have expected Ross to be a little bit quicker here. Seems to have struggled for pace in qualifying. Of course, the track very busy right now, and it's going to be difficult to find a lap, or find clear air for a lap, I should say. But just having a look at the HLQ times, Ross Bartle was in 9th on a 43.392. So really, I would imagine he should have a little bit more legs on that time. Yeah, so certainly I'm expecting him in the point blank Grumpy Monkey car to be looking up, as well as Chris Heineke in our first Lamborghini in 16th position for PWSR. Patterson Works Sim Racing. Of course, this track possibly not suiting the Lamborghini so well, but certainly Chris is giving it his absolute best for what he can do. Let's have a look where he was. Chris Heineke, yeah, so he's been struggling a little bit down in 19th in the HLQ. So yeah, definitely not the car I think to be driving around Hungaroring, Dan.
Yeah, it does look a little bit like a Ferrari Fest, doesn't it? In the absence of having a hot lap demonstration, we're just riding on board now with Jason Absmar in cockpit view, so we can just get a view what a hot lap would look like around here in, obviously, Jason Absmar's second position, so he's one of our fastest guys on track. So we can get a keen eye on the lines that he's taking and see whether he can improve as he's going to the death now in this qualifying session with only a minute to go.
Yeah, and a shout out to Against All Odds Sports and Jason Luck joining us in the chat here. Hello, chaps. Hope you have a great evening. We certainly will. And yeah, a good way to end the long weekend here in South Africa. A little bit of GT3 racing and S-Buck LNR Sharks. Yeah, so it's great to have you all on board.
Oh, and as we were riding on board with the hot lap, Jason Absmar takes pole position, so what a lap to join. We watched that pole on the cockpit view, and it was a pole-sitting lap from Jason Absmar with 30 seconds left in this qualifying session, so
yeah,
good luck there.
That's the time to be putting in the lap right there. I mean, just by not even a tenth of a second grabbing it, and S-Buck in the chat saying nicely done, Absmar. Yep, that is a fantastic lap. Really pulled it out the bag. 42.108, beating out the HLQ times quite considerably. Remember, 42.693 was the best HLQ.
I assume that's all down to track temperature, though, isn't it? Must be.
Yeah, HLQ was much higher temperature. So yeah, Adrian Bond, hello, buddy. Good to have you on board. Wishing everybody having a good race. But yes, it's going to be very, very interesting to see what these guys can pull out the bag in the race. Remember, qualifying ticks down. We've had 15 minutes of quali, and no, a little bit longer, sorry, of quali. But anyway, we have a lot longer of the race to go.
Yeah, so we're just finishing anyone else on track. I'm just seeing if anyone is on track. I think most people have returned to pits. We've got Lawrence Stern is still out on circuit in 13th place.
We got lots of people in the chat supporting various teams. I see Sim Racing Stuff has got a bunch of fans. LNR Mental Panda asking if we can watch Stradom in the Lexus at some point. So let's memory bank that one, guys, and we'll definitely go on board with him when we can. BWR, of course, has a lot of support. I would expect nothing less from the BWR boys. And yeah, I think also Jason, the White Rabbit team, definitely got a bunch of support going on.
So I think that's the end of qualifying. It is Jason Absmar start on pole whilst we just guys formulate on track. We're just going to take a very quick break so we can get our stream sorted, and then we'll be back for the race start. Don't go anywhere. Okay, so we're back, and it's early morning start, so we're going to have some nice lighting effects from Assetto Corsa Competizione, as the guys are still sat on the grid in their cool-down session, 2 minutes to go before they do a formation lap, full formation lap, and then we have a flying start after the formation lap. So, yeah, they've got plenty of time to organise themselves. Doesn't look like we're going to have any weather events at the moment. Fair weather. Yeah, pretty unlikely. Very cold track temperature though, 8 degrees now, 8 degrees. So that might catch a few people out.
I think it definitely will. I hope guys have done their research. So for everybody watching, just a quick recap. Remember, the races are all run with a 3 times time multiplier. So we are starting at 5 o'clock on Sunday morning. And for every minute that passes in real time, there will be 3 minutes that pass in in game time, but in real time we will be racing for 90 minutes. So expect a lot to come. The track, we will see a lot of evolution. Of course, it'll have a lot of grip right now, but as Daniel mentioned, very, very, very low track temperatures, which is fine, no problems there, except those temperatures are going to increase as we get into the morning. So expect almost a forced pit stop because of it. I don't think even if you could make the tires last long enough, I think your pressures will go off. And we know how sensitive these cars are in competizione to pressure changes. So I'm expecting most people, as we've got 30 seconds to go, to be taking a single pit stop, and I'm also expecting that to be halfway through the race to minimize the change in tire pressure. But that's just what I'm expecting, guys.
I'm also expecting a very cautious first lap because those tyres are going to be very cold after that formation lap, only 90 k's an hour allowed. And then turn one, already I was a little bit concerned about it. Obviously, just such a manic turn one. Remind me a little bit of Nürburgring GP. Big sweeping right-hander. And on cold tyres with 8 degrees, that might be a little bit interesting. But Jason Abtemeyer absolutely launches off the start in the formation. I wonder whether he thought it was a standing start. He's got a significant lead.
No, I think he probably just wanted to put as much heat into those rears as he possibly could off the line.
Yeah, he spun them up nicely. So he's trying to keep any temperature they can whatsoever on this formation. That's going to be difficult with 8 degrees. I mean, that's the coldest we've ever seen, I think, in Sim Race South Africa. So, and we saw in round 2, Jason Abtemeyer struggled in the early laps, if I recall. Also, I think, getting his tyres into the window. So, starting from pole, he's going to be pretty keen to keep that position and try and get that Ferrari in a little bit more of an optimum condition as it was in the second round.
Yeah, absolutely. You're 100% spot on there, Dan. We can see a bunch of people with their lights on. Of course, that makes an awful lot of sense. Although I see Onno Versace in second position without his lights on. So
he's a chase view driver.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm being facetious. I'm sure he isn't.
But
Peter Galvez when you need him.
We'll have to see how these guys warm up there.
No, this actually just stopped on track.
So is...
And I think it's because Jason Abtemeyer was literally stopped as well, bunching them up. It's a little bit strange going on here.
It's possible that they were just way too far ahead. I mean, these guys are doing like 150 k's an hour. I think Abtemeyer is just desperately doing anything he can possibly do to get some heat into those tires, and that you can see how far ahead he's gone again.
Yeah, he's taken the tact of like launching it for a couple of corners and then slowing right down to gain it back. So I think that he must have practiced this. Spinning up the tyres, he's weaving frantically. He'll be very wary from the last round on the fact that he lost positions with not having tyres in the right window.
Yeah, absolutely. And these conditions even worse. You can see Versace flashing his lights behind.
Yeah, he's getting frustrated now, isn't he?
Yeah, you can see why. Very difficult as the second place man to try and line yourself up.
Of course, you can actually just drive through cars on your formation lap here in ACC, can't you? So you don't have to probably mentally you brake, but you can actually pass through them.
Right, as they go side by side now through the last few corners. We're expecting them to cross over the start-finish line shortly, and then we will be racing tonight, people.
Just going to stick on this heli view just for the first few corners so we can get a better view of what's going on, especially into turn 1.
Can you feel your heart pulsing? I can. This is going to be exciting. Versace slightly ahead of Abtemeyer. Here we go. Lining up for the start-finish. Versace's got to make sure he's behind Abtemeyer as the green light will go in a moment.
He's not, is he? He's not.
There we are. We're off. Versace's already way past Abtemeyer. What's going on there?
He started in front.
Yeah.
Jason Abtemeyer was not behind. I can expect a penalty here for Versace.
Oh, we're going 3 wide into turn 1. There's contact against Abtemeyer. Abtemeyer's spinning. Daniel Rowe as well.
Well collected though. No one actually turning round. I'm looking at the whole field. Everyone through turn 1 safely. That's very, very impressive.
Yeah, that was incredibly impressive. But Absmire is now down to 3rd position as they file through 2 abreast. I see Ross Bartle going all the way wide and round in that McLaren, trying to gain some positions. But
Absmire's back in 2nd, but Visagi started from pole. He started 1st on track, so we've got a drive through for Jason Isherwood already.
I'm surprised we don't have for Visagi, given that what looked to be a jump start to us, but we'd have to get out the replay meter. I can see a black flag with a yellow spot in the middle of it. Must be for that drive through. And as we go, Absmire looking to try and make that position back on Visagi. I did see the Patterson Works Ferrari. I think it was Kieran Patterson taking to the escape, almost using that wide runoff area that we were speaking about in qualifying, just a few corners back. But here we go.
Side by side, these two into turn 12, and Visagi's holds the inside line.
Rowe has hit him. Rowe has hit and turned Absmire around. That really has ended things badly for Absmire, who's now probably down in around 14th position.
That's really unfortunate, as we had an advertising board right in front of our view there of Jason Absmire, so we missed that turn round, even though we were riding with him. He's coming into the pits now, so he's got damage that he feels that he has to repair. Very frustrating with the camera view that we had, that we actually missed that view. Daniel Rowe continues on in 2nd place. I still quite can't understand how Arno Visagi is actually in 1st. When he started in front, clearly on my screen, started clearly in front of our pole sitter, which doesn't quite make sense to me.
It doesn't make sense to me either. We've got Sean Lario and Jason Isherwood on drive-throughs. Looks like they are both taking them currently right now. And of course, we have had Absmire in the pits to repair the damage that he got from it looked like 2 punts from Daniel Rowe, using his Bentley to its full battering ram effect there. But we now have Ferrari, Bentley with Tariq Adam, the sort of silent winner of that, and getting himself nicely up into 4th position with Devon Lisher hot on his tail.
These two obviously teammates with the same livery, I assume. Adam and Lisher. So Lisher's in the Ferrari. I'm sorry, Rowe and Adam. Sorry, my mistake.
Rowe and Adam.
Yeah. The 2 Bentleys, and closely followed by Lisher and his Ferrari. He's ditched the BMW, lasted 1 round. He tried his best, but yeah, that's not the car to use in ACC at the moment, at least. You never know. It might be one day. We haven't got any Porsches on track, and last season we were inundated with them, so it seems like every brand gets its opportunity eventually.
Yeah, Daniel Rowe, of course, the Hybrid Academy, so that's both Daniel and Tariq. So, okay, 2 laps in, and as we come round turn 1 once again, we can now see Visagi is absolutely flying. I think he's got his Ferrari's tyres just where he wants them right now, and he's really pulling out a gap. 1.4 seconds last time they crossed the start-finish line. With Hannes van Wyk in 10th position currently, looking to tackle Lawrence Sterner for Sterner Racing, of course, for Odin. And Hannes van Wyk all over the back of Sterner. 2 Aston Martins, our highest running Aston Martins, in fact.
I've just noticed that Jason Absmire is actually left the server, so he didn't want to continue, unfortunately. So our championship leader will be having this round as a drop round at best, because he is not going to be collecting points having retired from this race.
Go down to 29th, Ross Bartle, Alan Patterson, and who's that? Looks like Endrin Govender as well, having an absolute ding-dong battle here. Bartle once again with huge damage to his McLaren. He was all the way up towards the sharp end of the field after qualifying, but something has gone badly wrong. Going side by side here with his teammate Endrin Govender, but Bartle all over the shop right now.
Pretty wide.
All over the back of them as well. So this is a real battle between the Point Blank boys and the PWSR boys. But it does look like Ross Bartle has managed to worm his way ahead. Now trying to look ahead to Prius in the Aston Martin in 28th position. But Marcus Stain having none of it right now in the Lamborghini. Also looking like he's carrying a little bit of damage. And as they come around the final turn, this is where the Lamborghini could shine. Bartle going to have to go defensive here, I think. Oh, looking for a move here. Marcus Stain doesn't make it happen though, and the McLaren lives to fight again another day. Although Stain having got a great exit from turn 1. Oh no, that is big contact. That is big contact, and it collects Endron Governor as well. That's the PWSR of Marcus Stain and the Grumpy Monkey point blank of Ross Bartle. That was never going to work, I'm afraid. Marcus under braking, but they both get going again.
In the meantime, Brent Lindsay Ray.
I was just about to say.
He's got up into 25th place. I'm telling you, that Jag is a racing car. That is a racing car, ladies and gentlemen. It might not be a qualifying car, but it is a racing car. And it's up into 25th. Come on, top 20, Brent. You can do it.
He's got Wilson and Ferrant all over the back of him. Wilson, of course, in an Aston, and Ferrant in the Lexus.
They just want to get close to admire it. That's all they're there for.
Yeah, definitely. And Ferrant weaving behind Wilson. This, of course, both, remember, Odin Racing.
Yes, so Wesley Ferrant, who qualified in the top 10 as well, has also had a bit of a nightmare start, then dropping back into 27th position.
Yeah, so certainly there's been a fair amount of drama up and down the field. Just having a look through the YouTube chat right now. Yeah, people also asking, how did Vasali start ahead of Absma? I mean, it is physically possible to do, guys. It's not like the game will stop you from it. But
yeah, but it hasn't given him a penalty, has it? So it's he obviously was legally. He started legally, otherwise the game would issue him a penalty. But it just was very apparent on my screen that he was ahead. Maybe Absma was going too slow, and that's why he didn't get a penalty. I can only think something along those lines. Absma was playing tricks on that formation lap, wasn't he? He was speeding up, slowing down. It was frustrating people. Might have just caught him out there because Versace hasn't been penalised for it, so he obviously didn't do anything wrong.
Yep, absolutely. And we got S-Buck and Eleanor Mental Panda both shining for Wilson in 26th, doing a fantastic job. And Eleanor Mental Panda saying, "Look at that sexy Eleanor livery from Wilson."
Wilson is all over the back of this XKR, though, isn't he? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Secretly, I do not want him to pass, but obviously I will stay neutral. I'll take a good battle as long as Brent Lindsay Ray comes out on top. Come on, Brent Lindsay Ray. Wilson is he's struggling to find a good place. We were looking at turn 12 and 1 before the race. I think they are the safest passing opportunities for sure. Just regulation braking zones.
And I think both Wilson and Ferrant are both quicker than Lindsay Ray, but Ray is currently displaying that trait of Hungaroring, where we said it's just going to be really difficult for guys to pass around here.
Yeah, there's
a lot quicker.
Turn 1's the only real cut and dry opportunity that you've got, and that's only provided that you're tight up into the last corner, because we've got Wesley Ferrant is going to make a pass on Wilson by the looks of it. He's going up the inside into T1, and he's already got the pass made, so Wilson didn't get a very good exit out of the last corner.
Yeah.
Trying to take the switch back, though. Not going to work. We've got a Patterson Works vehicle literally stranded on the pit straight. It was a Lamborghini, so not exactly sure who that is. It's Marcus Stain, I think, might be having issue coming into the pits.
I think he was coming out the pits, actually.
Yeah, no, it was weighted, and now he's coming back in, so I'm not 100% sure. Unless there's another Patterson Works vehicle. There's a Patterson Works car that's literally pulled over on pit exit, it looked like to me. There
are two Patterson Works Lamborghinis, remember?
It's maybe Chris Heineke, who's in 33rd position. He's out on track now. Might make sense.
I think both Lamborghinis have had issues, so I think Stain is just come into the pits, and Heineke, who we saw on the pit exit, had come into the pits. and was probably waiting for people to pass him by, you know, as he came up. It's exiting very, very safely there. Yeah, so I've got here in the YouTube chat Jason Gibson saying, well done on making Div 1 J Prius. Yeah, that's fantastic work. He's doing really well, up into 27th position. It is not shabby at all. Johan VDV, let's go sim stuff racing, sorry. That Aston looks absolutely sick. Yep, guys have done really good jobs on their liveries this year. Really good.
Just checking in back in with our leaders. Versace's now got Daniel Rowe for company. He's managed to claw back the gap, and it's under a second. So big menacing Bentley, it will be in the rearview mirror of our leader. So we could have a fight for the lead.
I must be honest, I'm still having a look at Brent Lindsay-Ray because he's under pressure now from his teammate Wesley Ferrand. So what do Odin Racing do here? Do they keep these guys side by side, or for the television coverage, or are they going to swap those cars when Wesley Ferrand clearly looks like the quicker driver right now?
I would never yield to Wesley Ferrand, just personally. I would make it as difficult as possible for him to take his scrappy-looking Lexus past my nice Jaguar XKR. So I think Wesley's got to do it on his own, I'm afraid.
Yeah, it looks like Jason Amsmeyer's somewhat aggrieved from the incidents in the first few turns. Yeah, certainly you can possibly understand why, but
unfortunately, I didn't actually see the final incident because, as I said, our camera view had advertising hoarding literally covering the whole event, so that was frustrating. But I'm sure if he has a right to lodge a protest, he will do. But we'll see what comes of that in the week. Probably.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got in 13th position car with a drive-through penalty, and he doesn't take it. So I know you've got a few laps in which to serve
3 laps to serve it. Is it 3 laps?
Yeah.
He's got damage on the front of that Ferrari as well.
Really does,
so
man.
he's not quite sure I'd give you a drive-through. I do think we're going to see quite a few more penalties just from the fact that this circuit. It's nice having runoffs, but the problem is you start getting a bit familiar with them, don't you? And you have so many of them, and you will be receiving a penalty.
Yeah, and I think it's a drive-through penalty for multiple infractions of that nature. So, yeah, that's probably what's going on there. Devon Lisher all over the back of Tariq Adam now, all over the back, really pressuring that Bentley with Leslie Oliphant not far behind, looking to pick up the scraps. Is old Leslie if he can. Should there be any incident with Tariq and Devon? Yeah, fantastic racing by these two so far. Really looks like Devon has the pace over Tariq at the moment, but that Bentley is just so big and so wide and can just absolutely monster over all the curbs. It's really not giving Devon much of a chance.
He just wants to be as tight as he can now here through turn 14, so he's available to try and make that pass into turn 1, basically. And he is very close.
Yeah, this is where he should be able to put the power down.
Adam, you think would cover the inside line. He's going to start drifting over in his Bentley. Doesn't look like Lisher is close enough. It's quite it's not as long as straight as you think, is it? It's not that much. It's certainly not long enough to get into someone to draft and start slipstreaming past. Not in these vehicles, anyway.
So we saw Lisher looking for the switchback through turn 1, but he got the car all crossways and has fallen back somewhat into the clutches of Leslie Oliphant now. The gap has stabilized from where he closed up. So I think this Ferrari is just really fast through the fast twisty stuff, but that doesn't help. You see how he's closed up. Look how quickly he's closed up to the back of Tariq once again. But there's nothing you can do through this section of the track.
You just got to be patient, and he's waiting for a mistake, basically, isn't he? Obviously, when you're at this sharp end of the field already, you've got an hour to go. There's no point in pushing it. I think Lisher is wise enough to know that. He'll just be keeping a very keen eye, poaching on any mistake, any potential wide corners that Adam goes through.
I'm just keeping an eye on car.
Yeah, he's got the drive-through, and another lap's gone, and he hasn't served it.
Yeah, so that's, if he doesn't come in now, I would expect a disqualification.
Yes. We've
So we'll
got
have to see what
Leslie
he does.
Oliphant is really putting pressure on Lisha as well. So Lisha's finding himself in a bit of a sandwich here, a bit uncomfortable, looking, trying to pass in front, but also defend from behind.
Yeah, I hate being in this position as a driver because you feel so much pressure to try and put the move on the guy that, the two of you are so much quicker than, or not so much, but are quicker than, and you've got to try and make something up, and the switchback, whoa, almost collecting Leslie Oliphant. Well judged from Devon Lisha as we see
He's
the
just having a
sunrise.
look, wasn't he? He's now got a very good exit of turn 1. He's just having a look, but like you say, he's quick in these sections, this section here, but you just can't pass.
Yes.
It's very much one line only through these few corners.
Yeah, he's all under the bumper of that Bentley. He mustn't be able to see anything with how wide that Bentley is.
We can see how much he is because riding on board with Adam in the rear view camera, you can basically see Lisha's Ferrari underneath his spoiler.
Yeah. As we get the sun rising, it's looking absolutely fantastic, the track. And of course, we will be getting a track temperature increasing as we go, already up to 9 degrees, started at 8. So I know not a huge change there, but we've only had 15 minutes of our 1 hour 15, so expect a lot more of a change as we progress through this race. Definitely the best battle on track right now, this, with Devon just absolutely trying to find everything he can. Maybe not taking the most adventurous lines, and I think he's doing that simply because he's got Leslie Oliphant. So if you attempt a switchback or something, that might give Oliphant just a little bit of a gap to dive up the inside and try and take a position himself.
Yeah, he doesn't want to do anything stupid here because, yeah, like you said, you can give up a places rather than gaining one. These guys are all very, very similar paced, so it's not substantially quicker. But you feel Lisha's got some pace being held back behind that Bentley.
Oh, look how good those cars are through turn 1 with that sunrise, and I do see the car has now taken his drive through. He's back down to 28, so that's unfortunate for car, but understandable. Again, you see Devon trying to use a switchback line through what I think that's turn 2.
He seems to just take a very different line through turn 1 in general. He's done the last 3 laps as Lisha from the Bentley, but it's not quicker, it's just different.
Yeah, it's just working for him. I must say that Daniel Rowe is now very close behind Versace. So Versace had quite... Oh, and he runs wide, does Daniel Rowe, as I put the commentator's curse on him. Definitely having an off-roading adventure. It's a Continental GT, Daniel. It's not a Bentayga, so he's definitely lost ground, but he had caught all the way up behind Versace. So this stage of the race, Rowe is absolutely flying. Having a look.
Just definitely seen that it's a track that you've just got to be patient on, isn't it? So Rhodes is trying to maybe put a bit too much on it. Lisha's trying to be patient as well, but the longer the laps go round and you're stuck behind someone, start becoming a little bit too adventurous. But an hour to go, a mistake will happen.
Oh my goodness. We have a huge battle here for 17th position. Absolute huge battle. Flip Fun Sail with Ronald Child, Stefan Habst, all just absolutely over the back of each other. Really desperately trying to gain these positions with what it looks like Ross Bartle in the background as well. So these guys all bunched together on track. And in fact, there are huge battles happening all the way up and down the track. Kieran Patterson in 7th, for example. Him, Stradom and Hall all battling it out together. Is just, you can't look anywhere else, but you can't help but find battles. It's fantastic right now. Don't know where to look.
We did, unfortunately, see Wesley Ferrand and Wilson get past the XKR because obviously Brent Lindsay Race has an issue and he's dropped down into the 30th position. So the Jag's broken down. Wesley will be quite proud about that. he's always he's always going on about me breaking down. There's still though the tightest gap on circuit is still Lisha and Adam. These
Yeah,
guys, you
definitely.
cannot separate them at all. 0.2 seconds less even. I mean, Lish is almost pushing that Bentley along.
I'm pretty sure there's a very short tow rope between these guys because
And Oliphant as well. They were switching between these three cars.
yeah.
Do you hate that ACC advertising board on TV2 because you miss an entire corner of it, unfortunately. Yeah, we've already missed one. I'm wary of missing another one. I'll try and switch over to a different camera setup when we go around there.
Yeah, certainly. I don't know which camera I'm using right now, but I don't see it.
Yeah, set 2 is a nice wide-angle camera we tend to use, but just that particular corner, it's just got ACC in front of you, and you can't see anything else. But yeah, Lisha is still right up behind Adam, and Oliphant not far at all behind. This could go on for a long time, these three cars, because very calm and collected, all three of them. Great driving. Doesn't seem to see any mistakes from any of them. Lisha's weaving around trying to put Adam off. He seems more than happy to soak up the pressure in the Bentley.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, I'm keeping an eye as well on Kieran Patterson being pressured by Hall in the Bentley. Once again, a Bentley Ferrari battle. That seems to be today. Just the Bentleys, Ferraris, and just having a.
Stridham's doing great though. Just a quick shout out in 6th place in the Lexus. So
yep,
that's improving over his qualifying time. So he's happier in the race trim than he is in qualifying.
And our highest placed Lexus as well. So fantastic driving from him.
You're the highest placed of your car. You've got to be pretty happy about that.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
You might have Kieran Patterson for company very shortly though. Gap is not big whatsoever, so Lex is going to be under pressure from the mighty Ferrari.
Yeah, absolutely, and of course Patterson will be desperate to get past Stratham and go join his teammate Leslie Oliphant up the road. But I mean that's 5 seconds he'll have to gain, but still can be done. There's lots to.
Oh, I've just flipped over to Adam and completely. In fact, I've got an issue, as in every car I'm going to is...
yes, I have the same issue. I can see the track map. People have gone absolutely berserk, and I've just lost connection as well.
I think we might have a server issue here, guys. This is going to be a problem.
Yeah, apologies everybody, but I think there has been a connection issue to the server. I'm going to disconnect and see if I can reconnect. I'm hoping it's not affecting the drivers, but it is likely.
Yeah, if both of us have got it, then it could very well be likely. Let me do exactly the same.
Except, hang on, don't leave just yet, Daniel. It says no mid-session join, so I'm not sure you'll be able to get back in.
Right.
If you do, so let me try and connect. It does say loading for me. Hang on. Give us 1 second, folks. Oh, hang on. I only see about 11 drivers on the server now. This has gone very pear-shaped.
Yeah.
So you can disconnect if you'd like, Daniel, and then jump back on.
Let me just take a short intro break then, and let me connect and disconnect and reconnect. We'll be back in a sec, guys.
You know. Like almost area.
Okay, so we're back, guys. I am back on the server. Unfortunately, we have had a major server incident because when I rejoined, there are only 11 cars on circuit instead of the 38 when we had a server issue. So me and Nick were all part of the two that got booted from that as well. I'm not 100% sure how we're going to conclude this race now. We've got Daniel Rowe is being promoted into first place. Still going around in the Bentley. Leslie Oliphant continues as well in the Ferrari. Any driver that's left on track must be completely puzzled as to what happened.
Yeah, because we've lost almost 2/3 of the field here. I mean, I'm just trying to work out if it's a location thing where these drivers are, but I don't think so, because I know that, for example, Kieran and Alan, the Pattersons, they are in Cape Town. I know Endron is in Durban. So, yeah, it seems very random to me. Dan, I know you're in Cape Town. I'm in Joburg, so and we both got kicked. So, yeah, that is absolutely bizarre.
I mean, we still got 50 minutes left of this race, but I think we probably can't continue with us 11 drivers, and we might have to look and see whether we can restart as a sprint race or something. I'm not 100% sure whether SAS or Ryan as the admins can.
Yeah, we'll get some feedback there. However, I will say that despite there being very few drivers on track, Endron Governor, Hugo de Witt and Sean Lario are absolutely giving us a bang-up race right now. Very, very little difference between them, although I do see Hugo's just run wide and Sean Lario has taken that 7th position and is now going after the point-blank heel and toe car of Endron Governor. So there's still definitely some racing out on track, as with Kieran Patterson and Hall just all over the back of each other as well. So there's still racing to be had.
There is, but I think for the rest of the field they will be looking for some type of restart, so we're just trying to organise what that is going to look like or how we're going to do it.
I'm not sure there will be, guys.
Yeah.
In the past, when we've had issues like this, we haven't restarted races.
I don't think we've ever had 30 drivers get kicked, though.
No, but to reorganize everybody to try and get a restart and what we would do, I think it's not going to happen. I think we will continue racing on as we are. But I will report back. But I have a feeling that is what we're going to do. The admin's very, very concerned and at the moment, and just having a look at what we can do to. Obviously, we can't rectify the issue, but we're trying to figure out what on earth has happened. So if anybody is on the teams of the drivers in the race, tell them to keep pushing, keep driving. It's one of those things right now. So this is what it is. Keep going, chaps. You're giving us some great racing right now, and we're very much looking forward to what you can bring us for the rest of the race. All right, let's have a look at what people are saying in the YouTube comments. Probably a lot of comments about people being disconnected, I'm sure. Let's see, lots of people saying being disconnected. Yeah, unfortunately, Donnie, I see you saying restart in the position we were before we disconnected, but
it's very difficult to do, isn't it? It's like very
difficult to do.
I mean, impossible to do.
Remember the touring car race, the World Touring Cars we did last year? I'm losing track of time. Where the commentators' cars were left on the track, and it took a bunch of people out, and it was the second race, which was the reverse grid, and there's just no ways to get the cars to slot back in where they were. This is not real racing. It's not that simple. As I see, Endron Governors dived into the pits. Yeah, so I apologize at the moment, guys. We are looking at where.
I'm sure the drivers that are left on track are massively confused as to why it's suddenly so empty.
Yeah, but
I was super confused when I thought it was just me, but yeah, when you suddenly see cars floating everywhere, and then when we rejoin, only 11 cars left on circuit.
Against All Odds Sports saying simple restart the race of where the disconnect was. Yeah, it's not that simple, unfortunately, to be able to get the guy. Like, where was everyone? There's close to 40 drivers on track here.
Yeah, you can't just press a button to say restart on lap whatever it was.
No, absolutely. It just doesn't work like that in ACC. You'd have to do a full qualifying session and get people to start where they knew they were. I mean, that's herding cats if I've ever heard of it. So, yeah, it's a really unfortunate incident, and we do apologize for it. But unfortunately, we don't see that anything happened that went or anything went wrong, and maybe it was an ISP issue. We're just not sure right now, guys.
I mean, the other opportunity is rerun the Division 1 race on Wednesday night, possibly.
Yeah.
Because we were not even a third of the way through this race. It will frustrate people, but it will frustrate even more getting disconnected.
Eleanor Mental Panda saying, or make the race in the week as a rerun for this race. Unfortunately, we can't do that either. We've got a schedule to keep at SimRace SA, where we've got the Div 2 guys racing on Wednesday, and then we got to set up for the Legends, which is next week. It's just it's a little bit like one of those things. This is, though, guys, remember, at SimRace SA, we have drop rounds exactly for this reason. Because things happen. Technology is not flawless. It is, unfortunately, very flawed. We all know that. I mean, goodness, I know a lot of the guys here at SimRace SA actually
I just can't see how someone could be granted a full championship standings worth of points when there's only 11 cars on circuit, though, to be fair. It's not just three. We've had 3 or 4 drivers, or even sort of a half dozen drivers disconnect from one area, for example, before in the past. But I mean, this is more than 2/3 of the server. Only a third in. So we're definitely going to have to look at doing something. Obviously, these drivers, none of their faults whatsoever. So it's very unfortunate. Daniel Rose, none the wiser. He's still continuing to go round.
All of these guys don't seem to have lost much pace, so I think that everybody is just giving it absolute horns until we get some sort of clarification. And actually, against all odds, that is a decent idea. We could potentially rerun this at the end of the season. That is, I'm sure, something that the guys are looking at it. So Tariq, I understand your frustration as well, buddy, but as I say, again, this is why we have drop rounds in the league. Things do happen, things do go wrong, and this is one of the reasons. There are 6 rounds, and 4 rounds count towards your championship score. So again, that is why we have it as it is. And you say it's paid entry, but remember, it is also it's not paid to us. It is absolutely a donation towards charity. We're doing what we can to help out.
I think if it was me, I think the most sensible is to restart this race possibly on Wednesday night with Division 2 and Division 3. We can obviously have 3 servers running at the same time. Doesn't matter. But we'll see how it go. Pretty sure something's going to have to happen, I'm afraid. If it had happened with only 10 minutes to go or whatever, points could have been allocated on where it finished. But I think it was just too early for that to go.
Yeah, so I'm just having a look at the admin's chat right now, and guys, I know we're keeping running right now, but we will have some official communications from the admins before this is over. They are looking at what to do. Everybody is absolutely in agreement. This is not the right, this is not a good thing. We are trying to fix and see what's happened.
Very, very odd, I have to say. I mean, I've got a 200 meg fiber line here. My internet obviously didn't go down, so it is very, very strange as to why the server actually kept 11 people going and everyone else kicked. Slightly strange. Can't explain it myself.
Yeah, so guys, as I say, I'm reading all of your comments in here, and it's something we are absolutely looking into. As I say, I'm just giving you the facts that I know right now. We're not trying to do anything any untoward whatsoever. This is just us trying to figure out what we're going to do for the best.
I don't think guys have to worry about championship points. That'll definitely won't be. There's no way that someone can suddenly win a championship round with only 11 drivers on track. I'm pretty sure this race will get rerun. in some description. But just bear with us as we try and figure out what we're going to do.
Yeah, and in the meantime, let's enjoy the racing that we can see. And as I say, we will get back to you. Yeah, so interestingly, from what I'm seeing, the admins are saying the server didn't have a problem at all. So from what they're looking on the server logs, there was, but again, this is preliminary results, guys. Don't take my word as gospel here. This is just what the initial conversation is. It looked like there wasn't anything wrong with the server, so something else has gone wrong, but we're just not sure. If something, I mean, it does kind of make sense. If something had gone wrong with the server itself, then surely the whole thing would have crashed and not just kicked off a bunch of drivers. We're looking into it, as I say. Yeah, lots of ideas, guys. Loving the ideas, and yeah, I mean, Daniel Rowe at the moment has got some fantastic pace. You know, with 38 minutes left of the race, I'm surprised he hasn't. Hang on, doing some mental math. No, he wouldn't have pitted just yet.
Leslie Oliphant's actually in the pits. Kieran Patterson also coming into the pits.
Yeah, so that's both PWSR, as you say, the Ferraris are in the pits, double stacking, so to speak. And let's see what they do here. I'm not surprised. The track temperature is only up to 10 degrees, so there's not as much change as I would have expected at this stage of the race. I would really have thought that the track temperature would be skyrocketing by now in comparison. Yeah, Jason, the reason no one can rejoin the server is because we're using
yeah, the liveries is a bit
liveries. It create, like, when you rejoin,
a culmination of problems, unfortunately, for this one.
Yeah, there's huge stutter when you rejoin, so that's why you can't rejoin. Yeah, so that's what it is there.
Okay, so our admins are looking on how they can preserve the results before we kill the server, but I think it will be killed. So unfortunate for these drivers that are driving their all and doing all that they can do. I mean, they're not going to stop with 37 minutes left. But I'm pretty sure this race will be terminated, and then it will either be a restart this evening or a rerun later. I would have thought would be a sensible decision.
Yeah, it looks like we might rerun this evening, and it looks like it might be a shortened sprint race, and then possibly what happens is we get half points for the first race, so to speak, and then half for this impromptu second race.
And just to put anyone's fears to one side, the server is actually in a massive data center. It is a proper server. We're not talking someone's bedroom cupboard here.
No, not
We're
at all.
talking dual Xeons that are running this. It runs at about 5% CPU usage whilst it's going. Has a 1 gigabyte internet connection. So yeah, it's very, very unusual. It's just one of those things that happens with online gaming. Still, the server doesn't actually say that it's lost any connection whatsoever at any point. But yeah, something strange has happened, either in SA internet or yeah, possibly in the server for a split second.
Yeah. So what it looks like I'm going to do is the admins are asking if I can effectively kick the server into the next session, so we will kill the race at that point, and it will preserve all the results. So we will be able to take the results from when everybody got disconnected, and then
reorganize a race where we start from there, which possibly is going to take some admin work in it. I doubt it's going to happen quickly, guys, so it might be looking on another evening.
Yeah, don't go away though. I am now the server admin. Check it. I have power, everybody.
That's
So
dangerous. Very
it,
dangerous. Don't give
it is.
Nick power.
Don't give me power. Okay, so guys, what's going to happen is I am about to end the session as it is right now. We do apologize for all of the confusion and the chaos. We are looking to fix it. Possibly there will be another race just now. We will get back to you. We'll put out another, or information to all the right places on Discord and the YouTube, etc. But please hang on for a little bit. I'm sure most of you are on the Discord and you are in contact with the teams, and we will be in. We will give you a shout just now. So, okay, let's see if this command works. Forwarding to the next session. There we go. Okay, so the very confused drivers. But yeah, Daniel, I'm handing over you to do some vamping here.
Yeah, well, there's not much really to do, so I've gone just to our static. Is we try and sort out whether we're going to rerun this evening or whether it's going to be a later event. So I'm just going to leave us with some background music, and once we figure out what we're doing, guys, we'll be back as soon as we can. I apologise once again, but it's just, first time in 4 seasons I've been commentating on GT3 that we've had an issue this bad, so it's very unfortunate, but we'll be back soon, guys, so stick around just for now. No matter what happens, I'll come back and give us an update as soon as I know a little bit more, but in the meantime, I'll just leave you on this splash screen with a bit of background music to keep you company, but I'll be back shortly as soon as I know more. Cheers. Okay, welcome back, guys. We've sorted our problems out. Thanks for sticking with us, for all that have. We have had to, unfortunately, restart the session. There's just no choice with so many drivers having issues. So we've got a second race, if you like, but we can't restart with how people finished. So we've got a 10-minute qualifying session with a shortened race. But we will finish today, and it will be a counting round for the championship. So, guys, however which way you look at it, you've either got an opportunity to reprieve yourself from a mistake, or you're going to be a little bit unfortunate and be a bit upset if you're running well in the race. It's just the way it goes. But it's the only fair way to conclude this round of the championship. There's no way that we could finish with just 11 drivers. That's not fair on the other 30 drivers. And the only real fair way to do it is to actually run a short qualifying session and a shortened sprint race. Bit different. People have got to work on their toes. Results may be a little bit different from what possibly we might have been accepted for, but I doubt it, to be honest. We'll see how they go. So we got 10-minute qualifying session, very, very quick. 6 minutes to go. No one's actually posted a time yet, and we're just following on board with Adam in the Bentley.
Yeah, so just so you know, everybody, we have marked, I think it was lap 13. Unlucky for some, including us. Lap 13 going into 14 is where everything cut out. So don't worry, we have got the results as everybody stood from that. Obviously, as Daniel says, we can't set up the server to continue from there, but we do have the results. So it's yeah, we've got all that. The admins are sorted out. Just tell the drivers, tell the people you're supporting, give it absolutely everything they've got, and everything will be sorted out as fairly as we possibly can. Don't worry, just drive. That's what we're here for. And once again, we see the Ferraris and the Bentleys kind of up towards the sharp end of the field. I see Arno Versace at the moment on pole by half a second. Really a fantastic time at the moment, a 42.8. We have seen quicker than that. Remember, Absmy in the first qualifying session, which was an awful lot longer than this. Remember, these guys are going out and really throwing the kitchen sink at everything for 1, 2, maybe even 3.
However, they are very well warmed up, aren't they? So they've had a qualifying session and a first part of a race, so they will be familiar. I'm sure there'll be a few stressed brows, but in 10 minutes, yeah, I don't think it's going to be unusual for us to see the same guys at the front, and already we're seeing that. Versace, Rowe, Lisha, our top 3 drivers are already qualifying in their top 3 positions. So it will be close to as you were, but not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. Don't kid yourself to think we think we've resolved it perfectly. We've just resolved it as quickly as possible, and this is the quickest way we can get back running this evening. And I think people will prefer racing tonight than on another night where they might not be available whatsoever, to be honest.
And absolutely, and the mark of a good racing driver is to be able to put, to be able to deal with incidents as they come up, things that you're not expecting, still keep cool, still keep calm, and be very, very quick on track. That's what all the top drivers are absolutely able to do. In real life racing, well, obviously you don't get a server disconnect, but these spanners get thrown at you all the time. So really,
yeah, I'm not quite sure what you would put what we had in real life racing. Some massive failure of an entire circuit, possibly. It's very, very unusual. I've never seen it running it either as a driver or as a commentator here at Sim Race Africa. It's very, very unusual. Obviously not done on purpose. Just appreciate guys just bearing with us a bit. We will try and look into what was the course after the race, but it's very difficult to do that whilst we're currently on stream. So this is the solution that we've got. Daniel Rowe has gone up into pole position, and he's done it by 4/10, just over 4/10. So plenty of opportunity for people to massively improve when they've only got 3 or 4 flying laps. But it's Rowe, Versace, Adam, and Lisha in the top 4.
Yeah, and I mean, a big up to all the drivers, every single person taking part tonight, because We started this evening with 38 drivers and we currently have 33. So with all of the chaos that has been experienced, we've only lost 5 drivers. So really congratulations to everybody sticking with us. We really do appreciate it, and we're very much looking forward to this sprint race. I don't think anybody's going to be pitting. It's going to be absolutely flat out. Give those tires everything they've got for the last little bit that we have this evening. Well, shout out to Philip Minnaar though, in 6th position right now. We haven't seen a single Mercedes this whole evening. Well, we have a few times, but I mean, really in the high up in the ranks, this has not been a track that's favored the Mercs. But Philip Minnaar in 7th position now, as I see, I think it was Leslie Oliphant just kicking him down 1 place. But in the top 10, really doing very well right now.
Yeah, this will be an opportunity for sure for people to make amends for any mistakes they may have had in the first go. That's just the nature of the beast that we've got. But for sure, the top, we've got Kieran Patterson's actually done incredibly well. He's got into 3rd place as well. Dwayne Hall in 4th position.
I remember Hall and Patterson both were putting it out hammer and tongs. We saw through the race, and I mean, there's not even half a tenth in that time difference between the two. But Daniel Rowe still sitting pretty right now. No one able to replicate the times from the previous qualifying session. And actually, shout out to Sas van der Westhuizen sitting in 9th position in his Ferrari with Sean Lario in his Ferrari. Identical times, down to the thousandths.
Yeah, I see
don't
that,
know
yeah.
how ACC's decided that Sas is in 9th and Sean is in 10th.
Because SA for SAS is
Yeah.
literally alphabetical order, I think.
It must be. As I see, we had a little bit of a hiccup there, as I think a few people have suddenly just joined. I see Dos Santos. Actually, no, we've had one more joiner. I think Absmeyer is. Jason has rejoined. It's unlikely he will get a qualifying lap in.
Yeah, he joined actually a few minutes back, so he is on a flyer right now, so he will be posting a lap, I think.
Okay, so somebody else maybe. So it's either Alan Patterson or Chris Dos Santos has rejoined, both in the Alexi. We will see what happens with those guys. Jason, as you say, will probably get a single flying lap. See where he appears. Remember, right up there, our pole sitter in the first qualifying session. What can he do? I saw him touch the grass a little bit. That won't have helped matters. A little bit squirrely coming through the twisty section.
Obviously, an opportunity for Jason Absmar to make amends. Rage quitting out of the first for the first race. He's now got a second chance, if you like, and he was our pole sitter from the first qualifying session. So Jason Absmar will probably be quite happy with the way this evening's panned out. Other drivers maybe less so, but we'll see how Jason Absmar passes where he finishes up, coming around the final corner now.
Devin Lisher up to 3rd, really throwing in a good lap time at the end. Let's see what happens with Absmar coming across the line.
He's come across the line and stopped, but it hasn't posted a time, has it?
I don't think he got a time in.
No.
Joined too late. That's a real shame, but a shame for Absmeyer, fantastic for us, because we get to see a man who we know is incredibly quick try and work his way through the field, see how high he can get up. And I always do like a never say die attitude, so let's see how he does. Versace in 2nd position, just 2 tenths behind Daniel Rowe. He really did improve towards the end, did Versace, which is fantastic. Rowe 42.3, great qualifying time. We have a minute 30 wait countdown. Just a few people still out on track. I see Tariq Adam coming across the line, not improving. Philip Minnaar in 8th position now, again in that Merc, not suited to this track, but really got himself up.
With a couple of drivers still out on track, all I can think of that is Absmeyer had an invalid lap because it didn't post a time whatsoever. So he come across the start line and just quit, or he didn't get across for a flyer on the 0 mark.
I think you may be right on the invalid lap, because I did see him clip the grass.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that could that could be it.
I saw him leave on his out lap. He was definitely on a flyer, I think. So, yeah, he must have been a lap that didn't count for Jason Amsmar. So we'll be starting right from the back in 32nd position. But he's going to, yeah, like you say, he's going to be a man on the move.
All right, back to 5 o'clock in the morning as well. 3 times multiplier. The race is only 40 minutes though, so we won't end in that late into the day, so to speak. So really these drivers don't have to worry too much about the track progression. In fact, they have a glimpse into the future because they've seen this happen all before.
This is true. This is true. It is a little bit deja vu, and in that respect we're going to have another short break whilst I just get my stream sorted on this side. So we'll be back in 30 seconds, and then we'll finish off the cooldown session and then back into our formation lap as if nothing ever happened, guys. So I know you've been very patient, but please still stick with us. Okay, guys, we're back, and 1 minute 30 seconds to go of this cooldown session. We have been here before. This is nothing new for us. Yep. We know exactly how this is going to go. We had a very good start in the first attempt, but we'll see how we go. We got Daniel Rowe this time starting from first place.
Yeah, I remember last time.
Second was poached, wasn't he? Visagi, it was a very strange start. We still quite don't understand what happened, and we think Jason Amsmar was like behind on his delta or something, because Visagi did not get a drive-through or penalty or of any description, so didn't do anything wrong. It was probably just following what was on his screen, but did clearly start ahead of first place driver.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and speaking of Amsmar down in 32nd, watch out for him. He will be trying to fly his way through the field.
Visagi's in second place again, but to a different pole sitter this time.
Maybe
he just likes that side of the track, I don't know.
I mean, it's not a bad side of the track, to be honest. It's got all the grip.
But we've got a Bentley that's just holding back a Ferrari. It's the cork in the Ferrari bottle in Daniel Rowe, as he's got 4 Ferraris behind him.
Yeah, goodness. Visagi, Lucia, of course, we've seen him all the way up there. Patterson for PWSR. Oliphant as well. So Patterson's actually qualified ahead of Oliphant, which is quite interesting. Not used to seeing that. Generally used to seeing Oliphant slightly ahead of Patterson. So
just a comment on chat. I'm going to change my TV view to a different one to make sure we do not get screwed over by the advertising board. So don't worry, we will be keeping an eye on them, but we will not just see ACC advertising boards on that one corner. I still don't know exactly what corner that is, to be honest. But set 2 of the cameras here for ACC doesn't seem to be. Hopefully they change that. So we're off. We're on another formation lap for the second time this evening. It's dragging on a bit, but I'm sure we're going to get some great racing. We've got a 40-minute race, much shorter. We're not going to finish that much later than when we were intending to finish anyway. Well, obviously a bit later, but not hugely.
Shout out to Philip Minar in 9th in his AMG, followed by Lawrence Sterner, the quickest running Aston Martin for Odin, and then of course we've got Chris Heineke, the highest running Lamborghini, in 14th. So well done to him for qualifying so high up. We've seen how much of a struggle those Lambos are, and he's got Marcus Steyn, his teammate, not far behind him in 16th. Having a look at who else, I think Wesley Ferrand is the highest in 17th, the highest Lexus. I'm very surprised at that, actually. I really would have thought he would be much higher up than that.
Yeah, because we had a few Lexus involved in the sharp end in our first effort.
Yeah, exactly. So it's surprising to see them where they are, but watch out during the race. I think the Lexus will be all right.
Jeff Carr will be hoping he doesn't get a drive-through penalty at the start of this race because he was highly affected in race 1.
Yep,
So he's got an opportunity to learn his lesson from that one. Brent Lindsay Ray starts in 29th, just in case anyone was worried.
I mean, I was hoping to see Brent. Well, actually, that's in. Yeah, he's in the 20s. Not bad. Be nice to see him end up in the top 20. Should we say?
I was hoping he was one of the drivers that survived the server issues, and then the race would have finished, and he would have got a top 10. That was what I was really after, guys. The
Daniel's
race would have 100% have finished if Brad Lindsay Ray was in it. But as soon as he wasn't, the race had to be restarted. There was no avoiding it.
Yeah, no, coming through the last few corners before the start, we will see.
Certainly, Danny Rowe is not slowing down and speeding up like we had in Jason Absmar. He's got a substantial lead, substantial. He's already at the start line.
Yeah, he's waiting. He's going, where are you guys? Come on.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Ready to go. This Bentley, this yellow design Bentley is absolutely ready to go, wanting to fly. Those tyres will be super cold. They're going to line up side by side now, I'm sure. Tiana Versace drawing alongside Daniel Rowe, waiting for them to speed up. I think 70 is the limit as they go across the line.
This time Rowe will start from first position though, and he will be covering that inside line. So Versace is not going to get a... So I definitely... Jason
Here we go, green. Off we go. Versace got a great start, but so has Rowe. Rowe's definitely got the inside line, as you said, Dan. But let's see how we go through turn 1. Everybody watch your braking markers. Watch the braking... Oh, we've got a Bentley on the grass. Is that going to end very badly?
Yeah. There was I think that's a Ross, someone in a McLaren that was spun round as the Bentley just torpedoed through in turn 1.
That's really unfortunate. It looked like Nell was the unfortunate cause of that. But and we're away. I mean, Daniel Rowe has done very, very well. Pulled out a little bit of a gap so far on Versace. Versace now under pressure from Lisha, and behind them Patterson. And hang on, things have gone all wonky on my timing screen. But the Patterson works guys of Oliphant and Kieran are both under heavy pressure from Tariq Adam, who has not had the best qualifying today, but has again gained some positions off the line.
Yes, Versace is right up behind Rowe, and he's in second place. He started on. He had a good run in the first race, but this second one, a bit more as you like at the front, and Rowe got a good clean start from his pole position, and that Bentley is going to be holding back a Ferrari train behind it to see whether he can stretch his legs a little bit.
Kieran Patterson, a big unfortunate loser on the first lap. Lost at least 2 positions, I think. Oliphant, remember, starting behind Patterson, already 2 places ahead of him, with Tariq Adam hot on Oliphant's tail now. Tariq, remember, the teammate of Daniel Rowe, who's leading us across the start-finish line. That's 1 lap down of this 40-minute race, everybody, and Versace not letting him get out of sight. It's just half a second between them. As we go 3 abreast, who is that? The both. Oh no, that's going to be a Patterson Works catastrophe there. Unfortunately, looked like both Steyn and Heineke trying to make moves into turn 1, 2 abreast, and it just causes absolute chaos. And there's cars strewn everywhere across the track behind them as the field bunches up and has nowhere to go.
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't see any of that. I'm flipping through trying to find Patterson work cars, and
it wasn't pretty, unfortunately. So I'm glad you guys didn't
I've
see
just
that.
popped on board with Marcus Steyn, and he's got a very second-hand looking Lambo with the bonnet pops up, so he's probably going to be coming in for repairs.
Yeah, 3 wide with 2 Lambos into a braking zone apparently does not go into turn 1.
No, and Marcus Steyn is struggling just to even get back to the pits.
Indran Governor with Jason Absmar. Jason Absmar already up to 13th, really taking advantage of the chaos in front of him, and is
Governor's
now
his next victim.
Yeah, he is absolutely flying. Indran for the point blank heel and toe team is really desperately trying to keep Absmar behind him. Knows how quick he is, and Absmar putting huge pressure on Governor. We know that this track is so difficult to overtake on. Governor taking the defensive lines, looking to maintain that position as long as he possibly can. Got to get a good drive out of this last corner. Looks like Governor's run a little bit wide going into it, but coming out, that's where you need the pace. Here comes Absmeyer, though, looking to be in the slipstream, looking to take that inside line, dive up the inside on the brakes, but Governor's got great pace down the straight in that Lexus. Might look like a saloon car, people might hate it, but oh, Absmeyer dives up the inside. Governor's having none of it, gives him very little room there, makes slight contact, door to door, rubbing his racing, giving Absmeyer some point-blank livery as he goes through, but Absmeyer is now up into 12th position.
It's a little bit of inevitability about it, isn't it? As Absmeyer starts working his way through the traffic, as you wonder how much you're going to fight in stopping him to get past. Clearly a very quick driver, our pole sitter originally, so you don't want to compromise your own race just trying to hold him back, especially when you've got 35 minutes to go.
Yeah, and especially also as there's a good gap in front of you, so you've got a lot of clean air to now run in, and there's a little bit of air behind you as well to start to try and get into your rhythm, build a gap. Remember, GT racing is so often just about getting in that rhythm.
Still pretty tight at the front of the race in Rowe and Visagi in first and second. There's only half a second in it still. I think these two are going to be close for a considerable amount of time, to be honest.
Hannes Fake though is all over the back of Lawrence Sterner. Have a look at that. So we've got we've got Sterner, Van Veek, Hunter, and Carr all over the back of each other. This is quite a battle that's developing.
And if you recognise Craig Hunter's livery, he was the winner of our entrance for the thumbnail for tonight's stream.
Yeah,
so
really
that well done to him for submitting his entry, and he's got his teammate in car behind as well, so it's almost a spitting image of the two Ferraris that we have for our screenshot for our thumbnail for this tonight's stream. If anyone wants to enter in the next round, just pop me a 1080p image during your practice sessions of your livery, and you could be featured as the static used for the stream.
I tell you what, I must get my point-blank teammates to really up their game.
100%, yeah, they've not been on this season, but the best one gets picked. I've had quite a few entries that's really, I don't want them to stop, so please don't feel disheartened if you posted an entry and it's not been picked. But yeah, think of a good shot for round 4, and you could be, your livery could be featured on the Sim Race Africa YouTube channel.
Tell you what though, with a race this short, it's almost like touring car racing. We've got Tariq Adam all over the back of Leslie Oliphant right now. Barely half a second between them. Once again, it's Ferrari versus Bentley. Can you believe it? The Bentleys were nowhere last season. I could barely keep my Bentley on track last season.
Yeah, you feel like you wish you'd joined this season in your Bentley.
Yeah, I don't want to say I regret my decisions, but when I look at this, I slightly regret my decisions, everybody. But, you know, you get to put up with my awful voice for the rest of the evening instead.
Yeah, it is a bit of a Bentley and Ferrari fest, isn't it? Top 7 positions, Bentley and Ferrari. Aston Martin always seems to be there or thereabouts. Quite an easy car to drive.
Yep.
Seems to be a good all-rounder. So if you want to just be in the mix or thereabouts in every round, Aston Martin seems to be quite a safe pick.
Absmeyer lining himself up on Jeff Carr right now, gets a much tighter line as they go over the start-finish line. Already looks to have had that position done. Side by side they go, almost trading paint down the start-finish straight, kind of reminding me of, was it Mansell and Senna as they came down with, I think it was Silverstone actually, but I can't remember. Anyway, it doesn't matter, the Jason Absmeyer has got past Jeff Carr and once again moves up. Absmeyer going to really be looking to gain a lot of positions. Already up to 12th. Remember, he started last of everybody.
Yeah, he's had time to just collect his thoughts, have a cup of tea, dissipate his anger from race 1 and come back a little bit calmer and just try and work his way through. Perhaps he should have done that in the first race as well. But anyway, he's in 11th place. He can still get a top 10 finish.
Remind me to ask Absmeyer if he's a tea drinker. I cannot see him being a tea drinker.
No, probably not, no. He's had 4 Castle Lights. And now he's back on circuit. Don't do it, kids.
Okay, so let's have a look where we are. Versace still all over the back of Daniel Rowe for that top spot. again, the widest Bentley in the entire world is driven by Daniel Rowe.
He
And,
seems to be comfortable there, doesn't he, Rowe, at the front in the Bentley? He doesn't seem to be stressed out at all.
Well, a car that big, you don't need to worry. There's no place.
This is true. Yeah, no one's going to push you off the road, are they?
Yeah. When you're the biggest man in the playground, you don't worry too much about being bullied.
You probably can't even see that Ferrari in his rear view mirror. It's too low. He looks straight over the top and thinks, "Oh, Devonlish is miles far behind."
Yeah, exactly. Come on, the Boatley. Let's get a win under the belt.
Obviously, we had a win in who won in the? They had a great race. It's on the top of my tongue. Mark won in the Bentley last season, didn't he, or season 1? Yeah, Van Rensburg had a great race.
Absmeyer once again on the move. A move around the outside of turn 2 to grab a position off Craig Hunter. What a fantastic move. You probably didn't catch it on stream, but Absmeyer got a much better run out of turn 1, then ran around the outside going into turn 2 and had the move almost done.
He's going to make short order of Hannes van Beek as well, I think, is Jason Absmeyer, to get deep into the top 10.
Definitely. For White Rabbit Racing, Jason Absmeyer, absolutely a man on a mission right now. Running over those curbs a little bit more than I thought the Ferrari would be able to handle it.
And Van Beek's gone very wide, hasn't he? So that's an easy pass from Jason Absmeyer up into 9th place. He'll take that. That was an invite. The gap was there. He was going to poach it. No worries. Next man is Lawrence Sterner.
Yeah, already into the top 10 is Absmeyer. I cannot believe it. I really thought it was going to take him a long time to get through, but I have a feeling he really got lucky in that lap 2 chaos.
Yeah, he jumped a good bunch of places at the start, didn't he? So he obviously just did the kamikaze start that we all like from the old Gran Turismo days, win it in turn 1, and it paid off for him, because he's up in 10 minutes into 9th place is Jason Absmeyer.
Yeah, absolutely. Still a long way to go before he's in a podium position, but we do have half an hour still to go of this race, so everybody hold on to your hats. While,
the mandatory pit stop has been removed, so these guys will probably be just doing a full sprint race. I doubt they'll be coming in whatsoever. Would expect them to conclude as they are. You never know, but I very, very much doubt it. So there is no need for a full pit stop. If anyone doesn't know that, please get in contact with your team drivers straight away.
Yeah,
it's a bit late now if you fueled less, but
yeah, exactly. I mean, anybody who watched the first race would have seen a little orange 1 next to the driver number. But now, of course, all of those are green because there is no, as Daniel said, there is no mandatory pit stop. So that's why that you see greens across the board, and it is go, go, go for this race.
So Daniel Rowe is safe in the knowledge that he's not going to get past with pit strategy. Visagi has got to pass him on track, and he's trying his best. 3/10 back. I mean, he's properly being towed round now by that Bentley. I mean, he's so far underneath that rear view wing.
He really is, and I'm also keeping an eye on Craig Hunter, who is also being towed around the track by Hannes van Beek right now. Craig, of course, in the Ferrari, and Hannes in the Aston. Very close between those two. There is some fantastic racing happening up and down the grid tonight.
Got to feel like Craig's got a bit of an advantage in the Ferrari over the Aston. Just appears that way on this circuit at least. So Hannes van Beek's holding on as much as he can in the Aston. We've got Sterner in front of him though in 8th position, also in the Aston. Oh, as I say that, he's dropped down into 9th. As Absmeyer has passed him and moved up into 8th place. It's Jason Absmeyer.
Jason's getting some real overtaking practice in tonight, and a quick Jaguar check-in.
Oh, well, where is it? Oh, I haven't. Oh, 20th, top 20, Brent Lindsay Ray. Yes, you can do it.
We said we'd love to see a top 20 finish from Brent, and he's currently in that 20th position.
I've got my sights on top 15 now. Come on, Brent.
I must go and ping Alan or something on Discord to make sure he doesn't catch Brent Lindsay Ray, because he is in that 20th position. And as I say that, Alan runs wide into turn 1 and is now under pressure. He's absolutely under pressure from Wilson in the Aston Martin Aston on Lexus on Ferrari. Here we go. This group of 4 cars.
And what happened to Sas van der Vesthuizen? I see he's in 24th, but he had a much better qualifying, didn't he? So he's dropped back in the race.
He was unfortunately, I think, caught out in that lap 2 turn 1 incident. But as I said, this is like a touring car race. There is just action up and down the field. You don't even know where to look anymore.
No, people just throw caution to the wind. It's just off you go, sprint race. It's a bit unusual for what we're used to in GT3 Championship here at SimRace South Africa. But it is quite refreshing as guys just absolutely put pedal to the metal and just go for it.
So while I have a look at Arno Versaki once again trying to close up behind Daniel Rowe through turn 1, just nothing happening. That Bentley just has the legs to be able to keep the Ferrari. As you say, Daniel, there's not really too much of a long straight for anybody to make a slipstream move.
No, it's not a spa, is it? You can't tuck yourself up behind and just wait for the toe. It just basically doesn't happen. So you've got to force a pass or put a pressure and wait for a mistake. But Daniel Rowe's put quite a few laps down the site this evening, and I haven't seen him make any visual errors apart from his obviously scrapping the first sort of lap or two with Jason Absmar in our first attempt. Been pretty clean. So Rowe will be just soaking up the pressure. Definitely not comfortable, let's be honest. You're never comfortable when you're looking in your delta or rear view mirror or whatever you're looking at and seeing someone so close behind you. You're ever wary of a mistake will cost you the place. But as every lap goes past, you just start to feel a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more familiar with the lap, where guys are going to maybe look, and you just think, well, I can do this. 24 minutes to go. He's almost 20 minutes in. And yeah, he's soaking up the pressure, is Daniel Rowe.
Yeah, he's doing very, very, very well. I'm really impressed with how both of these guys are, as you say, handling the pressure. I mean, even being behind, there is a lot of pressure. You don't want to run into the back of the guy in front of you, but you also want to keep really, really close. You've got to keep that pressure on.
Yes,
so
it's difficult to follow within a second of another car. It really is.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you got to just concentrate on your own braking points, but you're ever wary of his as well. And if he brakes a little bit early, it can be a disaster. So it's not easy to follow, just as it's not easy to have someone that close behind you either. So
tell you the Alan Patterson battle in 21st is once again hotting up heavily with Wesley Ferrand behind Patterson, Sas van der Vesthuizen coming up behind them, and they're all slowly catchy monkey gaining on Brent Lindsay Ray in that coveted 20th position. Although I have to say, I think with Govender and Heineke battling in front of Ray, I think Ray is gaining on them, so this could get even closer between the 6, 7, 8, 9 of these cars.
yeah, super close in that midfield pack, isn't it? Around 20th place. Very, very close.
Yeah, absolutely. As we see the sun once again starting to rise over the Hungaroring, second time this evening, but what a pleasure to see once again. Not complaining about that at all. And in case anybody is still enjoying, I mean, I can't see why you wouldn't be enjoying this racing tonight. Come and join us at SimRace SA. We do an awful lot more than just GT3. Of course, we do this, the GT3 round in Assetto Corsa Competizione, but we also have 3 Assetto Corsa leagues, both the touring car league, which currently we're running the BTCC cars, and that is of course run by Alan Patterson. Then we've got our stalwart, the GP series, which is run by of course Ryan Hill, and that is running the RSS mod, which is the GP3 mod, which is a fantastic mod. Can't speak highly enough of that. And then of course we have the Legends series, the little bit of the Joker, the wild card, the fantastic series that is running the Assetto Corsa Legends, and that is coming up next week, where of course you will see us at Imola battling out in 1970s Porsche 911s versus Dieterma's Panteras versus Jaguar Broadspeeds, all sorts of things going on in that league.
I can't imagine those Legends cars particularly like that chicane at the top of the hill, eh?
They, depending on the car, the Dieterma's Pantera loves that chicane. It
Oh, really?
absolutely-
Okay.
For breakfast, yeah, it goes over the.
Bit of fishtailing going on there, I imagine. In
A
some
little
of them.
bit, but you'll be surprised.
Yeah.
The suspension's very, very compliant. The Porsche is much more difficult over that. I imagine the 906 Porsche is going to really hate that chicane, but it's more a problem. I tell you what, the problem with Imola is getting the cars slowed down. They're
Down the
so
hill.
squirrely under braking down that hill.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, down that hill up, that like the difficult corner before you start going back up the hill.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw in Formula One last season, we saw Russell Binnett just behind the safety car there, didn't we? So
Yeah, exactly.
It's get off weight. It's not easy, but the old Legends cars, yeah, I'd expect a bit of sideways action through there.
Oh, absolutely. So if you want to see a spectacle, come and join us next week, Monday, as well, for the Legends series, where we take on Imola. I will, of course, be taking part in that one. Once again, I'm watching Alan Patterson, now all the way behind Brent Lindsay Ray. So this group, this gaggle, has really, really closed up. Alan has put a little bit of gap to Sas van der Westhuizen, and so actually Ferrand has fallen behind Sas, and then Sas has now just run wide. I see, going into the last corner, takes a very, very narrow line to try and protect himself against Wesley Ferrand in the Lexus for Odin, and behind him Wilson in the Aston Martin. So here we go, down the main straight, over the start-finish line, into turn one. What's going to happen? Sas goes very defensive. Wilson tries to take the
Bit of contact there, bit of contact from Sas is
halfway into the race as well. So these guys are absolutely going hammer and tongs. This has given Alan Patterson some breathing room. Oh, and a bit of breathing room for us commentators as well, as we once again wait for these drivers to line up and have another move and have a go at each other. See, Onno Versace has fallen back from Daniel Rowan. When I say fallen back, I mean he's now
still within a second, isn't he?
Within a second, exactly.
But he's not literally latched himself. I mean, it must be just tiring. He maybe just wants a bit of a break.
Yeah.
Do a few laps, cool down, and then go again. Because it is tiring following that closely behind another vehicle.
Craig Hunter in 11th position, all over Hannes van Wyk, looks to make a move around the outside of the last corner. Doesn't get it done, but maybe will have lined himself up nicely to get a move done into turn one, all over the back of Hannes van Wyk. Couldn't be closer if he tried. Trying to use that slipstream. The Mercedes engine underneath that Aston Martin, having none of it though, but Craig tries to sweep around the outside of Hannes. Might have the inside line for turn two now, if he can make it stick.
Yeah, he's got it.
Be
On
able
the
to.
inside, should be able to get this done, I think. Oh no, a bit of contact between these two.
Both drivers making a bit of an error there, I think.
Yeah, but I think Hunter was on the inside and he had right to be there, and I think Hannes van Wyk just turned in and wasn't expecting him to be on track next to him. Bit unfortunate between those two. Craig Hunter continues. For me, I think that's a racing incident, to be honest. Craig Hunter, he had right to have his car up on that inside line. He was side by side.
Yeah, probably for me as well, but potentially one for the stewards later on. I'm sure they will need a few whiskies themselves to try and get through all of the chaos that's been happening tonight, as I'm once again looking at Wesley Ferrand trying to attack Sas van der Westhuizen, who's trying to attack Alan Patterson. Admin on admin, Sas and Alan going absolutely hammer and tongs side by side. Sas trying to get an inside line for the next corner.
And don't worry, guys, these guys can't use their admin rights on server.
Exactly. Sas then losing out a little bit to Wesley Ferrand. I think there was a little bit of paint traded there, and Alan says, "Thank you very much. I'll have half a second gap." Oh, Sas gets it very wrong. Coming out, really wiggling like you cannot believe, and Wesley Ferrand not able to make a move. But there's lots of action here for 20th position. Brent Lindsay Ray, of course, in the Jaguar, all over the back of Endron Governor now. As I said a few laps ago, I kind of expected him to close up behind behind Endron for the point blank heel and toe. Let's see what happens here now.
This race is going quick, only 16 minutes to go. We've got a message in chat from Mental Panda Gaming. Where's Sean Stridham? I didn't actually see him rejoin, unfortunately, so...
Yeah, I think he was one of the casualties. He didn't manage to rejoin.
He didn't manage to rejoin in race 2, so hopefully he can come back in Monza for round 4.
Going for a move. Brent going for a move up the inside
of... that Jaguar, you can't barge that thing out the way. Off it goes, Brent Lindsay Ray. What a pass.
That was aggressive, to say the least. Endron won't be happy with that, I can guarantee you.
I think that was as fair as you could be. Brett Lindsay Ray, you carry on, my friend. Next up, again, Chris Heineke.
The epitome of impartiality here tonight. But
yeah, there's no incident there. I won't be having it.
But Brent Lindsay Ray now squarely in the top 20, 19th, not even a 2 to his name. So here we go. Oh, Endron all over the back of him, really not having any of that pass.
I have to say that Jaguar doesn't look particularly great through the chicane, does it? Let's be honest. I think it's a bit of a handful. So Brent Lindsay Ray's doing well to try and tame it.
I think you should go on board with Brent, have a look at the kind of wheel work he's having to do right now.
Certainly a bit stripped down from my version. In the old Jaguar, I can't believe it's a bit of an antique going around here compared to the 2020 cars. A bit unfair. He's in the Legends series in GT3 is Brent Lindsay Ray.
Yeah, but still doing a fantastic job and just starting to pull a little bit of a gap on Endron. I think it's got good straight line speed, does the Jaguar. Let's see what happens out of the last corner.
Just checking back in with our leaders. Daniel Rowe is he's just stretching now. He's got over the 1 second. If he was in F1, he'd be out of the DRS zone. So he just settling down. It's actually he's not putting as much pressure as he was. Very marginal. I mean, one mistake you can lose a second just like that. But yeah, he's looking comfortable in that Bentley. Looks comfortable.
Definitely. The track is only at 9 degrees, and remember we started at 8 degrees, so basically there should be no change there. But I do remember the Bentley being particularly good on its tyres over a long run, so we could be seeing some of that, some of that take effect, where potentially the Ferrari is using up a little bit more of its tyres than the Bentley is, and that's allowing the Bentley just to stretch its legs to 1.3 second gap now. I
just wonder whether, obviously, these guys are very well prepared for our races every month, so we're appreciative of that. But when you suddenly have a little bit of a spanner in the works and a different race duration, they've got setup changes that they would have been familiar with. They'd have been worked their way out for the normal race situation. And you suddenly get a 40-minute race. Just wonder whether a few people will get caught out on fuel and tyres, especially fuel. That might be a little bit different. They might have had to adjust their fuel strategy for going into a 40-minute sprint race than they would have done in their original situation. But just wondering where that comes into it as we go. The clock ticks down towards 13 minutes left. Super sprint. It's gone quick as 40 minutes feels very, very quick in GT3.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, you've got to have a look at Wesley Ferrand right now. I mean, that is a Lexus on Ferrari sandwich, and again Alan Patterson coming under massive pressure right now. The heart rates of these three drivers must be incredible. Ferrand having a potential look, but backing out of it at the last minute, trying to get a better run on Patterson into turn 2. Runs a bit wide, so he doesn't get the drive out of the corner that he was looking for. But once again, this train of Patterson, Ferrand, Van der Westhuizen and Wilson and Prius is incredible.
Yeah, just riding on board at the moment for Ferrand as he tries to track down Patterson in front of him. The Patterson works. Nice and bright at least in its yellow livery. Got a target. But it's such a difficult track. Oh, he's got a great drive, has Wesley Ferrand there. And he gained a lot of pace on Alan Patterson.
It's into the chicane. There's going to be no move to be had. I
think it's a bit of a mistake there from Patterson. He just got a little bit squirmy as he comes out the chicane. And that's got Wesley Ferrand level with him. And he's sending it. It's gone wide round the outside, has Ferrand. And that's a place gained, I think.
That was the move of the day. How was there no contact there? I've absolutely no idea. Sass also getting in on the action on Patterson, trying to make a move as well. The driver's keeping it clean. That was world class.
Yeah, got it on replay as well. Just having another look at it. It's just Wesley Ferrant. He just keeps his foot planted. Just manages to keep inside track limits, I think. Very clean overtake.
There are millimeters in that one. That was incredible to watch.
So next on target for Alan Patterson, Sass van der Vesthuizen won a bit of that action as he's tucked right up behind in the Ferrari.
Oh, look at that. That is close. Don't think he's going to have quite enough. Is he going for it? He's going. Is he going? No.
Has a look, but thinks better of it.
Yeah, so what he's done is he's forced Alan to take a narrower line, who's now got all out of shape. Coming out of turn 1, is he going to try and sweep around the outside of turn 2? Is Sass? No, he's not close enough. He's going to give it a go though.
Yeah, he's really outbraked himself there, has Sass van der Vesthuizen. I think Alan was maybe driving a little bit more with his rearview mirror than he was looking in front, but yeah, Sass was trying to push that a little bit. So he's lost a place, and he's gone back behind Prius.
I'm just now shooting ahead a little bit to the what I'm going to call the Aston Martin train, and we've got Ronald Childs, Jason Isherwood, and Hannes van Veek. 3 drivers separated by, oh, if it's a second, that's a lot. And then we've even got Oosthuizen behind in the Ferrari, looking to try and capitalize on any mistake that these 3 drivers are going to make. These guys have been at it for a while now. Oh! And that's Isherwood running slightly wide, allowing Van Veek to try and have a sniff. Really having a sniff into the last corner, looking for a good drive out of the last turn as they come onto the start-finish straight. That Mercedes power, both cars absolutely equal, but of course Van Veek will have the draft. Not going to be enough though. He's going to try go around the outside, force Isherwood into taking a narrow line, get the switch back for turn 2 possibly. No, not having any of it. Doesn't look like it's going to be done this lap, unfortunately.
Yeah, just looking at the fastest laps for these guys in this race, and it just shows you how close the top 10 are, really. But yeah, our top 2 drivers, they're split their fastest lap by 2 1,000ths of a second. 42.66 versus a 42.64.
I apologize for the interruption, but we have Wesley Ferrant on the drive-through and Marcus Steyn on the drive-through. Wesley has just taken his drive-through. Remember, we saw him battling heavily with Alan Patterson and co, that whole train, and he's just come out ahead, I think, of Nell in 28th. So he slipped all the way down as Wesley Ferrant.
Yeah, so we did say at the start of the race that it's very lenient on the runoffs here, but it won't be lenient if you keep doing it. So yeah, that drive-throughs are starting to play a part in this race, even with a shorter 40-minute session. I would have thought a 75-minute. I was expecting to see a lot of drive-throughs because it's so easy just to push, especially that kink in 4. Just push and run wide, and you clock enough of those, and you'll get penalised for it.
Yeah, absolutely, you will. Hannes van Veek now as well with the drive-through, diving into the pits in 15th. Currently, he is going to lose a boat ton of places to this for BWR. That is really unfortunate, but that is what it is. You got to respect those track limits in GT3. They are so strict in this series.
Yeah, it's just the nature of this circuit, isn't it? You get some circuits where you physically can't because there's a barrier. If you've got a wall there, you make sure you don't run wide. But when you have got big runoff areas, you sometimes just push your luck a little bit. And,
yeah, especially when you're in a train of cars as well.
Yeah.
Battling position, it's so easy to do.
And you just go around the outside and you just push wide, but you can only do that so many times before it will detect too much track advantage gained, and you'll get a penalty for it.
Once again, I'm looking at Sass van der Vesthuizen all over the back of Alan Patterson. I must say, Sass does look like he's got a little bit of damage on his Ferrari. I think we spoke about that a little bit
He's
earlier.
traded paints with quite a few cars, let's be fair.
Yeah, he's clearly not happy with his own livery. He needs somebody else's.
Yeah, but it'll be a multicoloured livery by the end of this race. It'd be nice if you could transfer liveries. I think Sass would have definitely a multicoloured bus as he drives around.
Yeah, definitely. For not so independent racing as Sass van der Vesthuizen trying to go around the outside of Alan Patterson. Is he going to make the stick? It's unlikely to coming out the corner.
There's got to be a little bit extra in this admin versus admin, isn't there?
Oh,
you want to come out on top of this battle.
Absolutely.
The bragging rights alone for the week ahead is worth it. Sas van Westhuizen has got. He'll be absolutely desperate to pass Alan. You can be sure of it.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Also Joburg versus Cape Town as well. So, which admin's going to take it? We'll have to see later on. See Kieran Patterson, another Patterson, of course, the younger Patterson, all over the back of Hall in the Bentley.
He's got Asmar for company now as well. He's managed to. He was stuck in 8th for a while, Asmar, but he had a little bit of a gulf to catch up on.
Yeah,
and there'll be a bit of pressure for Patterson to make a move because he's going to have Absmeyer for company for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Getting to the sharp end of the grid, Absmeyer has now, somewhat slowed his rate of ascent, but really clearly quicker than both of these guys. But trying to make a move is going to be so difficult. I mean, him and Kieran Patterson have been racing GT3s for so long and in so many different series that I'm sure they're both quite used to each other by now. Fantastic to see such quality on track, giving it absolutely everything in a sprint race with only 5 minutes to go.
Yeah, Daniel Rose had a bit of a masterclass in this second race, not put a foot wrong from what I can see, and Versace's dropped 3.5 seconds behind now, so he's given up the fight, and Daniel Rose is his race to lose with only 5 minutes to go.
Yeah, without a doubt. I genuinely believe it's a tyres thing. I really feel that the Bentley has better tyre management than the Ferrari.
You really wish you carried on with the Bentley, be honest, Nick. You really wish. Just one more season. You were robbed last season.
Yeah, I should.
Just when the Bentley comes good, you're stuck with me chatting about it.
If it was me, I'd be about 3.5 seconds in front of Rowe, let's be fair. But,
oh, that's very confident, very confident. I'd probably be down with Brent Lindsay Ray in the XKR.
No, I mean, these guys are on such another level. I could barely keep up. I can guarantee you. I jump into ACC now.
ACC specialist now, isn't it? It's a bit of a
thing.
Yeah,
no, absolutely. It's a skill in its own, ACC right now, and I'm not surprised that people are really focusing on it as a sim, because it's got its own nuances and its own the physics is so different to the original AC that trying to switch between the two, I've obviously focused on AC, but Daniel Rowe doing a fantastic job out in first place. Still watching Absmeyer though, all over the back of Patterson.
I'm on with Absmeyer as well. It looks like Kieran Patterson is just holding on for dear life with 3.5 minutes to go. Probably 3 laps tops of this race. Jason Absmeyer's thinking I could possibly poach 2 places to get a 6.
Yeah, and they'll be
looking
great.
at all.
I mean, starting down in 30.
That's a fantastic drive. Yeah, obviously he gained a lot of place in the first couple of laps, but still deep into the top 10. And he's got a couple of places in front of him to go as well, possibly.
As a result, really under the back splitter of Patterson there, and you see he's dropped back because it just that will have unsighted him really, really close between those 2 millimeters separating them through turn 1, and Absmeyer clearly not wanting to cause any contact. Good man, making sure that everybody comes out cleanly there.
Yeah, he drops a bit. Quite far back as Absmeyer. You have to regroup now, close the gap.
Yeah, definitely. Having a look at Philip Minard now while they do that. In 15th, our Mercedes runner did qualify in the top 10. I was waxing lyrical about Philip managing to get that Merc up into the top 10, doing very well. But now in 15th, but starting to pressurize Oosthuizen in the Ferrari.
But Brent Lindsay Ray firmly in the top 20, 18th position. He's managed to claw his way up through.
I mean,
just going on his own now. He's just on a fancy little Sunday drive.
In that Jaguar, that's basically a win, isn't it?
I think so. It's a win in my books. I think categorically it's a win.
Yeah, once again, not biased whatsoever.
No, not at all. No. I think Brent Lindsay Ray deserves all the admiration that he gets.
Versace is now 4.8 seconds behind Daniel Rowe, really losing a lot of time. I know they are working their way through back markers at this stage, but
Yeah, he's settled for second place, isn't he? I think he's
Yeah.
going to take his second place and go with it. One sort of, well, we got 2 laps, depending on when they cross the line, it's probably 2 laps remaining.
Yeah, absolutely, and there's still places to be gained though. Absolutely. Hugo de Witt, I see all over the back. Hang on, sorry, my timing screens are doing an ACC thing here. Donnie Miller running very, very wide. Oh, I tell you what it was. I think he's letting Tariq add. Is it Tariq?
Oh, everyone disappeared across the chicane is Danny Miller and Wesley Ferrand behind him, I think.
Blue flag problems there, unfortunately for Donnie Miller, but doing very well to make sure that no incidents occur. And off he goes once again into the sunrise.
I'm just going on board with Jason Absmeyer, who for some reason has got no cards around him, so I'm not quite.
He's had an incident. He's 4.5 seconds behind Patterson. There's something has happened there.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking, whether the live timings is not gone or whether he's dropping back and saving fuel possibly. We've got a Patterson Works car off the circuit though.
I think just...
There's a Lambo completely off the circuit on the grass, not quite sure who that was.
It is Marcus Stain in 30th position. Leader is now on the final lap. I wonder, is he running out of fuel?
I wonder whether they're saving fuel from Jason Absmeyer here, because we did discuss it, 40 minutes, you wouldn't be quite familiar with exactly how much fuel you need to put on board, and he's dropping 7 seconds down, he's just coasting. Might be just trying to get across with 1 lap to go.
Yeah, and I think Marcus Stain is having similar issues, taking absolutely the scenic route. So I think we're having a few drivers with fueling problems here, Dan.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Jason Absmeyer was absolutely flat out for 40 minutes. Probably used a little bit more fuel than he realised.
Yeah.
8th place looks like the limit for him.
And it looks like Sterner behind him is gaining hand over fist right now. I wonder if Sterner's got enough fuel on board, which, you know, in the Aston you really should, because the Aston's pretty frugal. Same with the Bentley. What is...
He's within a corner of him.
Has put on ultra fuel saving mode. If you could see his stats right now, I bet you he's half throttle at this stage. He is really slow. And as you
he's
said,
just coasting round, isn't he? 14 seconds he's dropped in this lap.
the
Desperately trying to finish on the tank that he's got.
the battle for 20th position is still absolutely hot as anything. Governor in 18th, Prius in 20th. Sorry, Governor in 19th, Prius in 20th, Patterson 21st, and Wilson 22nd, trying to make a move on Patterson, but not going to happen.
So the leader just coming across is Daniel Rowe. He will take this round 3. Very eventful evening we've had at Hungaroring, but well done to Daniel Rowe. He will take first place. Arnaud Visagi will be in second position and he's already concluded. Devon Lisher, didn't see much of him in the second race, but podium position nonetheless. Leslie Oliphant in 4th.
And Adam and Hall, Patterson in 7th. Is Absmeyer going to make it?
I think he is. He'll just be able to coast across the line, Jason Absmeyer, clearly saving fuel at the end, but it comes from the last place to 8th. Very well done from Jason Absmeyer.
Yeah, fantastic drive from him. Sterner not quite able to catch up. Absmeyer doing a fantastic job of managing that gap. Craig Hunter there coming across the line, followed by Carr.
He looks pretty happy with 9th, weaving across the finish line, does Craig Hunter. Carr is teammate in 10th position. Peter Oosthuizen is going to come across in 11th.
Ronald Childs there in 12th position. Great drive from him, followed by Jason Isherwood just behind in the other Aston. Not teammates, of course, but fellow Aston drivers. Oosthuizen in the Ferrari in 14th. Philip Minnar 15th. Heinecker, in a very second-hand Lamborghini.
And Brent Lindsay-Ray's got another place in 17th as the XKR finishes. Well done, Brent Lindsay-Ray.
followed by Engine Governor for Point Blank, Heel and Toe, Prius in what's that, 18th, Patterson in 19th. So fantastic, well done for everybody. Thank you for sticking with us through all of the technical difficulties. You're all absolutely wonderful. Thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, it's not been an easy evening, but well done to everyone involved and that watched. I think we got to a valid conclusion in the end, so we'll investigate exactly what happened so it doesn't happen in the future rounds, which will be Monza in a month's time for round 4 here in ACC. We've obviously, as Nick's already mentioned throughout the stream, we've got plenty more racing to go with. Nick will be back in the seat for next week's Legends race. But yeah, as far as ACC goes in the GT3 Championship, our next round will be Monza. And difficult one. Turn 1, Monza, always interesting. I think there will be more controversy, even if the server is perfect at Monza. It always is. It's just the nature of the beast.
Yeah, we will have the replay mode on Ultra Replay for Turn 1 in Monza.
Yeah, you got to make sure there's a few records of that one. It's just, that's what Monza's always about. But yeah, so thanks so much for a bit of a late finish. We're at 10:30. But thanks, Nick, for joining us. It's been enjoyable nonetheless.
Yeah, thanks everybody. We'll see you at Legends next week, Monday. Look out for Imola, Sideways, Porsches, and D Tomasas, and Ford Capris, and all of the other cars as well. It's going to be fantastic. Join us once again. We look forward to seeing you there.
And if you haven't had enough of ACC, then it will be back online probably on Wednesday for the Division 2 race here at the Hungaroring. Any driver that's been watching for the Division 2 in Division 1, don't worry, the server will be fixed by then. But you can take a few pointers, I'm sure. It's difficult to overtake, as we've seen. But yeah, good luck on Wednesday night. And yeah, we look forward to seeing the Legends next week. So for everyone that's joined us this evening, thanks so much for tuning in. And yeah, we look forward to seeing you again here soon at Sim Race South Africa. All the best, go well.
Ciao, ciao.